How to choose the best all-purpose folding knife. All right, guys, so on this video today, we're going to talk through my top 3 favorite folding knives that I have, what I like about them, what I don't like about them. A good knife is an extremely important tool to have, and usually, well, not usually, just like everything else, all the time you get what you pay for, all right? So you're going to be better off to figure out what the best folding knife is. Go ahead and drop the money to buy the right one, and it's going to last you the rest of your life if you keep up with it, all right? That's the key with a folding knife. So these are 3 different knives. They're distinctly different. They're all good knives. They all have advantages, disadvantages. So we're going to talk about first my least favorite, which is going to be this model right here. This is very similar to what most of you guys see. I think they're called Microtechs, all right? So it's a auto opening knife. This one is actually made by Crate Tactical. It's, I'm sure, a similar design to Microtech. It's a super lightweight, really slim, convenient knife to carry, right? It's easily accessible with the flip of a switch. The main disadvantage to this knife is going to be durability. Obviously, we have components inside of this knife that make this thing auto open. Now, over time, without a doubt, those components are going to wear out because that's what mechanical components do. They're going to fail, and this thing will probably, without this switch operating properly, it is not going to work. So I'm a big proponent of durability, reliability. I want something to work every single time for the rest of my life, and not saying that this wouldn't, but I'm just saying that there's a better chance for this knife to fail than these other 2 that we have to look at. Another thing about this knife, it's got a nice sharp point to it. This would be a great knife to stab with. This would be a great knife to cut with. It's got a nice straight edge on the blade, but you're not going to do a lot of prying or heavy duty work with this folding knife, right? So if we had to hammer on this thing, pry with this thing, whatever it may be, we're going to break this thing in half with the quickness, all right? So not super durable, but pretty cool knife. The main advantage to this is going to be just the comfortability of carrying this knife. It's super slim and light like we talked about earlier. So let's go on to my second favorite that I have right here. I've had this knife for quite a long time. As a matter of fact, I think my tech guy gifted me this knife years ago, and I've kept up with it because I like it so much. This is a knife made by ZT, all right? And I don't know the actual design of this knife, but it is an extremely beefy folding knife, all right? You can pry with this thing. You can cut with this thing. It's just, I mean, it is a beast, and that's why I like it. Disadvantage to this, because it is so beefy, everything's a trade-off, right? This blade is super heavy, all right? So you know when this thing's in your pocket. But I'm okay. I would rather have a little heavier folding knife and actually be able to do some heavy-duty work with it than to have something that's lighter weight. I also like Spyderco's, right? So a Spyderco is a lightweight, probably about the same weight as this little switchblade type of knife over here. But it's not as durable. This ZT is going to get heavy-duty work done. Now, talk about one thing that I don't like about this ZT. This being my second favorite. The reason that it's not more toward my absolute favorite is because the shape of this particular blade. As you can see, the actual cutting edge has a lot of curvature to it. So down here at the base of the blade, it kind of curves inward, and then it kind of swoops out. And we don't have a really sharp point on this. I would like to have a little sharper point, but the way this blade curves along this cutting edge, it actually makes this knife extremely difficult to sharpen if you're sharpening on a traditional whetstone or something like that. Obviously, if you're using some sort of you know, tool grinder from Worksharp or something, you're not going to have as much problems, but I like to sharpen my knives the old school way as often as I can, and it's extremely difficult to get this knife razor sharp because of the curvature of the blade. Also, this has, because it is so durable, it has extremely hard steel, and maybe that also contributes to what makes it so hard to sharpen. It looks like this is made out of S30V. I don't know anything about knife grade metals, but it is hard. It's extremely hard. That's what makes it so tough, and it's thick. So my second favorite knife right there. It's heavy, but we get a lot of durability. We can do some pretty extreme cutting, prying, beating, batoning, whatever it may be with this thing. It's difficult to sharpen because of the curvature of the blade. All right, my absolute favorite folder that I have right here, it kind of combines both of these. So the lightweight, sleek design, easy to carry with the durability. We get it all in one single package right here. This is a knife, custom folding knife made by Shea Butler. You guys have heard about Shea on the channel before. He's a good friend of ours. He hand makes these blades in small batches, and he's combined everything that I would want in a knife with this folding knife right here. This model is called the Valor, and the great thing about it, it's a little lighter weight than the ZT, but it is just as strong. So I can pry, cut, hammer, do whatever. Also, as you can see with this Valor, it is slimmer than the ZT, so it carries better in my pocket, all right? So I get the best of both worlds. Another thing I love about the way the blade is shaped on the Valor is we have a nice straight cutting edge, a very traditional shaped blade right there that's just extremely utilitarian. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. We also have a better point on this knife than we have on the ZT, and it's going to be easier to sharpen because we have that nice straight cutting edge right there. The operation of the knife is just as smooth as butter. I love that. I love having a folding knife that's easy to open, not like the old case knives where you have to actually use both hands to open it. This thing is just smooth as butter. It runs off of a ball bearing. Extremely reliable, easy to carry, durable, easy to sharpen. The best of both worlds we have right here. So if you're going to want the best folding knife out there, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, you're going to have to go to a custom knife maker. The production knives are great. Some of them are great, but a lot of times they err on one side or the other, right? Probably my favorite production knife, which we don't have it here, it would compete with the ZT, would be the Spyderco, the paramilitary model. But it's, again, not as durable as the ZT, and that's why I chose the ZT for this video over the Spyderco. But best all around folding knife for me, the one that stays in my pocket on a day-to-day basis, the one that I'm going to take with me in the backcountry, the one that I'm going to carry every day out here on the farm, the one that I'm going to have with me on the range, everything that I do because it can do all the jobs properly is this Shea Butler Knives Valor. It's good to go, and it's the best looking out of the three. You know, looks got to count for something, man. Looks got to count for something. So find you a good folding knife. It's a super important piece of kit. Have it, spend the money on it, get the right one. It's going to serve you well if you keep up with it, and it's a good one. It's going to last you for your entire lifetime, and it's probably going to be something you're going to be able to pass down to your children or your grandchildren, which is what makes knives really cool. Similar to guns, right? It's something that's going to last. We can pass it down, and as you use them over time, they build character, right? They just, I don't know, it's really cool. I don't know, maybe I'm a geek, maybe I'm a knife geek, but yep. That's the folding knives, guys. Those are my top 3 choices, the distinct differences in them, why I like them, why I don't like them, and what I carry. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Enough said.